Our names are Mackenzie Fries, Alana Lavene, and Jillian Peslak. Our project is Heights of Sand Dunes versus Health of Beachgrass in Seaside Heights, New Jersey, a comparative study. The objective of the study was to determine if the health of the dune grasses had any effect on the growth or decline of the sand dunes. Dune grass is vital in the formation and preservation of sand dunes. Their roots keep the dunes anchored and their leaves trap sand in order to promote dune growth. It was hypothesized that if the dunes have healthier dune grass, then they will develop at a more rapid rate than the dunes with unhealthy grass. Data was collected once a week over an 11-week period at Island Beach State Park in New Jersey. We used 6 wooden dowels marked with centimeter lines and placed them at the tops of the selected dunes, 3 healthy and 3 unhealthy. Each dune started at 0 centimeters on the dowel. Healthy dunes had tall, green, and plentiful beach grass, while the grass on the unhealthy dunes was brown, drooping, and sparse. Every week, we checked each dowel to see how much the dunes grew or shrank, and we also took a clinometer reading and converted it to find the dune height using the model on the top right. In terms of statistics, we ran 3 t-tests to evaluate our results.
As you can see here, we have an average graph of the average angle over time. The healthy dunes are depicted by the green line, and the unhealthy dunes are depicted by the yellow line. As you can see, the healthy dunes had a greater average overall angle. Here we have a graph of the average inclination change of the dunes. As you can see, these lines fluctuated greatly from week to week. However, we'll discuss this in later detail. Here we have a graph of the average dune height on each pole. And finally, here we have the average height change of dunes. These graphs overlap quite a bit, and again, we'll discuss this in just a moment. So there were great fluctuations observed in both healthy and unhealthy dunes. Healthy dunes tended to have greater inclination and height, and they also tended to be more stable and fluctuate less when the heights of the dunes fell. On November 27th, both healthy and unhealthy dunes decreased in height. Unhealthy dunes decreased drastically, while healthy dunes had a less severe height decrease. Overall, healthy dunes were more stable and less susceptible to decreasing heights. There was a significant difference between the increment changes for healthy and unhealthy dunes. However, unhealthy dunes have more drastic increment changes than the healthy dunes. This is due to the root systems of the dune grasses holding the sand in place to prevent drastic increment changes. There was no significant difference between the angle changes of healthy and unhealthy dunes. This may be due to the angle changes each week, which were relatively inconsistent and fluctuated greatly. Angle inclinations are not as accurate as the increment poles due to the great distance at which the measurements are taken. The increment poles are much more accurate and precise, and therefore better reflect the true change in dune height.
Overall, the healthy dunes had a net increase in inclination angle, while the unhealthy dunes had a net decrease. The healthy dunes had overall less fluctuation in height and were less susceptible to erosion. The measurements on the poles themselves showed no significant difference between healthy and unhealthy dunes, possibly due to little increment changes week to week. Drastic changes occurred in November of 2020, where the area was hit with a nor'easter. The coastline experienced copious amounts of wind and rain, which could have contributed to the movement and erosion of sand and caused more drastic results in our data. Despite this, the data here still did not show any significant difference. In conclusion, the data supported the hypothesis that dunes with healthier beach grass develop more rapidly than dunes with unhealthy beach grass because of the roots holding the sand together. The dunes without healthy beach grass were not able to protect themselves as effectively as dunes with healthy beach grass. Judging by these results, a greater effort should be made to maintain beach grass health moving forward in order to protect the beaches and the areas behind them. There should be projects conducted to plant these grasses on dunes without grass. Thank you for listening to our presentation. If you have any questions, please contact one of us at one of these emails.